Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
The State Department has concluded its widespread reduction in force, nearly a year after it began. The department is officially separating hundreds of Foreign Service officers who received reduction in force notices last summer. The department tried to part ways with these employees before, but has kept them on paid administrative leave since July of 2025. Federal News Network's Jory Heckman is here with more details. Jory, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Terry. Thanks for having me.
Jory, fill us in. Who exactly is being let go from the State Department at this point?
It's about 250 Foreign Service employees. These are all folks who last July, they received reduction in force notices. They were part of this broader pool of about 1,300 employees, mostly civil service employees, who got these reduction in force notices. This was a part of the State Department trying to streamline some of its departments. Some they believed were redundant offices, and then this was them saying that these are positions that they were no longer going to proceed with. And so they were saying that these folks no longer had a job. And unlike the civil service employees who were separated pretty soon after getting those notices, the Foreign Service employees, they have been through this really extended limbo situation.
What's changed so that the State Department is finalizing the actions now?
Right. So last December, the State Department tried to separate these Foreign Service employees, and they were blocked then by a federal court in San Francisco. There was some confusion about whether there was any prohibition for the State Department trying to carry out these reductions in force as part of the 43-day government shutdown that we saw last year. That was part of the confusion because there was some pushback on whether that was an accepted activity during the government shutdown. And then it got tied up in Congress passing a continuing resolution to end that shutdown. And they had put in language protection against layoffs, not just the State Department, but across the federal workforce. And so it was this combination of different events that the State Department was swept up in. And so they were eventually told that they could proceed with those RIFs. The court said that they could continue with them if they'd like. All the other agencies that were trying to RIF folks during the shutdown last year, they mostly rescinded those RIF notices, but the State Department really didn't show their cards up until now. They were mum on the subject.
What have the impacted employees been saying about this?
You know, this has been such a strange situation. It's always, of course, hurtful to lose your job, but they felt that a lot of the pain from this was that it was this drawn out, protracted situation. They weren't hearing anything from the State Department as far as what their next steps were going to be. Their only real notice was getting this email on Tuesday saying that they are effective as of now, no longer State Department employees. They have been on paid administrative leave since July 2025, but they say that the State Department is going back into recruiting mode. They are looking to fill positions in the Foreign Service. In some cases, their exact jobs that they are leaving. One of these impacted employees shared with me a posting on USA Jobs showing that it's their exact job that is being filled, and that notices that they are trying to fill many vacancies.
What's the reaction been like from outside the State Department?
We heard from the American Foreign Service Association. They, of course, are concerned by all of this. They say that this makes the diplomatic workforce weakened, that there's right now currently a lot going on in the international domain, that right now in a situation where there's an ongoing conflict in Iran, that these are the kinds of people you want to have on board. They have security clearances. They have the language skills that you would want. These are mid-career. These are senior employees that no longer have a job at the State Department. And they say, why would you lose those people at a time when all this is going on?
It seems like a ripe condition for another round of legal cases. A RIF is supposed to be a restructure, not just a removal.
Right. That's what a lot of these people are saying, is that a RIF means that you no longer want these positions now or in the immediate future. And a lot of these employees who are impacted by this, they say that this is them trying to bring in new blood and fill the positions that they have had.
So what is the State Department actually doing to begin its new recruiting process?
Well, last month they rolled out on social media this full court press to recruit new members of the Foreign Service. They put out a splashy new video. They were doing all of this different messaging. They had Secretary of State Marco Rubio write a blog post on the State Department website saying that they are looking for the next generation of diplomatic talent. And of course, all of this is happening at a time when they are showing the current workforce, telling them that they no longer have a job at the State Department. And so AFSA and some of the lawmakers who have been critical of this, they say that this is a hard thing to sell at a time when you're trying to bring new employees on board. There was not that long ago that the federal workforce was a place that you would stay for your entire career. That's no longer necessarily the case, but it has been for the Foreign Service. This has been a place where once you join, the expectation is that you're going to stay for decades. And so this is something where impacted employees say that that is no longer the situation.
It sounds like this might not be the final chapter in this saga, though.
There may be more to come. We'll see what happens next.
That's Federal News Network's Jory Heckman. Jory, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Terry.
You can find his full story at federalnewsnetwork.com.